I really just encourage people to start to pay attention and tune into their system, and it will tell you what foods are good for you. It will tell you what people are good for you. Like, vibes are real.
How long did it take you to make the film?
From the day I hired my producer, from the day that it released on iTunes, is exactly 2 years.
What do you say to the person that is kind of skeptical about the concept of manifesting? Because there's probably a lot of myths around manifesting.
In the film, I talked to Dr. Kelly Turner. She did her PhD on the spontaneous healing of cancer and radical remission. She found these 1,500 people that were sent home to die that didn't die. Why aren't we studying what they did? So she found that they all did these 10 things. And
Kelly, welcome to the podcast.
thank you.
Thanks for flying in for me.
Yeah, I do. You're worth it.
Thank you so much. And we're going to this event tonight. Tina Chang roped us in. I'm happy to go.
She's a good roper, man. She ropes. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Willingly, and I am so excited to go. But yeah, what are we doing tonight?
It's for the Children's Cancer Fund.
Yes,
it's a big Texas gala, and I've walked the kids down the stage before. It's an escort. It's a really beautiful.
So you've gone before?
I have. This will be my third time. Yeah.
I'm going. I don't go to things like this before. We'll see it.
Yeah.
Sitting.
It's full sparkles and gala. It's the full thing. It's a full Texas experience.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I actually had Tina Chang. People should go back and listen to that episode. She's the founder of You Beauty, and she's a great connector of people.
Yeah, she is. She is. And she's naturally caffeinated. She doesn't drink coffee, which I admire so well. But she's a super producer. And I honestly, not just because she's one of my best friends, use her skincare, and I get compliments on my skin all the time.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Okay, go back in time. I want to know where your wellness journey began. How far back does it go?
I mean, I think it went as far back as childhood, but probably the first thing was I got sick in high school, and or my first dip my toe into the natural world. We weren't a big medication family. We were just normal growing up in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
And my mom still played soccer at the time, and she'd go to a chiropractor. So I went camping in high school, and my mom was just just don't get sick, whatever you do. She knew there was probably partying happening. I end up sleeping out, in the cold at the beach with friends, and come home and I get sick, and I'm sick for a week.
Mm-hmm.
My glands are swollen. It's probably mono, or the flu. I recover in the normal amount of time, but my glands don't go down. So I have golf ball sized glands in my neck. And so they threw every antibiotic at it. Nothing worked. So however many courses, there was 3 different over weeks at a time, just destroying my gut, which nobody knew about back then. And then they were starting to get concerned because it wasn't clearing. So they did a full general anesthesia, lymph node biopsy, inch incision in my neck. And it came back benign, nothing to be concerned about. So I just randomly went to my mom's chiropractor appointment, and he felt my glands, as they do. And he said, he's like, it's probably just a infection that can't clear. Your lymph is just weak or whatever. So he had me take apple cider vinegar for twice a day, kind of gargle it. And a week later, my glands went back to normal. And I was like, okay, I went through a major surgery, took all these pills, and that didn't work, and apple cider vinegar. So I think that planted the seed of the old school natural ancient medicine might be the way to go. And then I went to college. I went to Berkeley my first 2 years, and I didn't feel right. Now people would call it probably depression. But I was such a happy kind of kid. No real big capital T traumas, lots of little. I mean, maybe I'm just brushing that under the table, but we all have our traumas. But I was just kind of angry and edgy, and I didn't find my people in school. I met some lovely people, but I just didn't I just felt out of place. I felt angry. I felt frustrated and not healthy. I was, eating pizza at 2 a.m, drinking alcohol, so I didn't feel good. And I went home. Looking back, I was probably depressed. And what I found was that I went on a trip to Australia with my brother. Someone gave me the book Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. And I just resonated. If you come from love, you create heaven on earth. If you come from fear, you create hell on earth in your experience. And all of my depression went away. It's like I found my just kind of compass and like resonance of like a higher truth. So that was like the beginning of my spiritual journey.
Wow.
And that has been kind of the crux of my work, is just this like all healing to me is like a spiritual healing, is like finding that truth.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love Marianne Williamson.
Yeah.
She's so great. Have you I'm sure you got to meet her since then, right?
Yeah. And I've had her on the podcast a couple times.
Yeah. She's such a sweet person.
She's amazing. She's brilliant. She's a bulldog.
I've never got to meet her, but I love her from afar, from the sidelines.
She's special.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So what was it, you mentioned like that book being sort of this gateway to seeing the world bigger, the universe bigger than you saw it. What did that look like on a daily practice? Like what did those early days look like for that spiritual walk that you're talking about?
So early days, because I was still in college at the time, then I met I love this story. I met like the bad boy boyfriend that quintessentially checked every box. He had long hair, tattoos, rode a Harley, had a big dog.
You have to have a big dog. It comes with the image.
Exactly. Drug user, drug seller, drug. Like it was like the full.
Yeah.
My mom's worst nightmare. She literally had to like mantra herself every night, going, "She's a smart girl. She'll figure it out. She's a smart
This
girl.
is just a phase.
This is just a phase." But ironically, he was really into spirituality. So like we had like the Upanishads on the back of our toilet and dancing woolly masters. So early days, it was just like reading books, personal development. And then when I broke up with him, I started going to Agape, which is a spiritual center.
Michael
Beckwith in LA.
Yeah.
They have a bookstore, and I started meditating at the time, and I was doing a lot of yoga. So then once I started meditating, it was just like a game changer. You start to create space in your mind. You start to kind of, at the same time I saw The Secret, and I was like kind of manifesting, and within 3 months I manifested this crazy job I didn't even know existed, and was making more money. So I was like, oh wow, this stuff really works.
Yeah.
And so that all kind of got me into more of like a deeper dive daily practice. And Michael and his teachings at Agape, I just started tuning into energy, like how I feel. Like I would go, and it was just this kind of microcosm of the world, and all shapes, sizes, colors, economic backgrounds, cultures. He would teach from, Judaism, Christianity, all Buddhism, like all the master teachers.
Yeah.
And he would just channel. And so he tuned me into my body, and I just started going, oh, well, I feel expansive when I'm here. I feel energized. So that's in resonance. If he taught me that if I have a calling in my heart, that, spirit, God, source, whatever, universe also gives you everything that you need to realize. Like, so trust that pull, trust that passion. And so for Heal, I started like wanting to put all my teachers in a film to help empower other people, because people would come up to me like, how are you so happy? You're glowing, you're manifesting this stuff. Like, tell me what you eat, tell me what you do. This was, pre-influencer land. And so that was what I did. I said, I want to put my teachers in a film, and then it became Heal. And I trusted that I could do it because Michael said, if you have a call, like I had to do it. There was no choice. But old me would have been like self-conscious, and I probably would have suppressed that calling because I wouldn't feel that I had the ability to do it. But he really got me to trust in that energy pull.
Yeah. Do you know Susie Batiz?
A lot of people have tried to connect me to her.
Yes, she was just here.
Oh my God.
Yes, she was like...
She's the poopery.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay.
You two need to meet.
Okay.
Because you definitely are similar frequencies and like have a similar journey in many ways. And she talks about the same thing, the sort of calling and being led with that and kind of tapping into that resonance of your life. And we're all different, so it's going to look different for different people. But it seems like you had that. And a lot of beautiful things came from it. This is a question that I ask when people talk about gut instincts or resonance or, following that intuition. There's so many people that are disconnected, right? So you mentioned some of these things, and maybe that's the answer. But when someone's like, I don't even know what you're even talking about, how do I even know what's right or wrong for me? How do they tap into that intuition for themselves?
It's a great question. And intuition, I think, is like the key.
Yeah.
If you can reconnect. And I just saw this clip on social media from Zach Bush, and he said he worked at this ashram, and he discovered that anxiety is because we're so disconnected from feeling, and society is set up to make us not feel, or distract, suppress, numb through alcohol, sex, drugs, rock and roll, all that stuff. And so feeling is really, it's that reconnection to yourself, which I found through meditation.
Okay. What type of meditation worked for you best?
Yeah. I learned transcendental meditation.
Okay.
Now I do, there's so many great guided resources, but like Joe Dispenza is in Heal, and he's a big, he's a friend of mine, and his work is very powerful. They're studying his meditation retreats now to prove how they can shift state and heal things and kind of spontaneously, which is so cool. So I kind of oscillate between just my own mantra, whatever I'm called to do in the day.
So TM is, can you explain what TM, like what a meditation session looks like?
Yeah. So you are, and why I like to learn from a teacher, and this is my teacher, Light, who I think learned from Tom Knowles, is you do it 4 days in a row, and you learn why it works. So you're not just like learning a mantra. You learn why it works emotionally, spiritually, energetically, physically. And once you have that meaning, you stick to it. And then you have this experience meditating in a group. Like that collective field is always more powerful. So like I just remember in that first 4 days, and you meditate 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the afternoon.
Got it.
Or, twice a day, whenever it works for you. So, and I just remember having this profound, like, it's literally a moment. It's like you dip your toe into like that oneness, unity. And I've been, it's like that, what they say about heroin. I don't know why I'm talking about drugs so much. I would never do heroin. But like you do it once and then it's so addictive that people try to get that same feeling that they got the first time and they can never get it again. And so in meditation, like in that 4 days, I felt that you just almost leave your body and you feel this total, and it lasts for an instant, but it's so profound. You just get in that oneness, expansive kind of like moment. And then I've been chasing that ever since. And you get those moments, and they're fleeting, but they're so powerful. And in that moment, it's like that full coherence and true state of like love and consciousness. And so, so you get your mantra, then you can go back and get an advanced mantra. But I really recommend people learning that way because it just anchors it in, and then you do it more.
It makes it like a really concrete practice.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned your teacher, Light.
Light.
What's
Light Watkins.
Of course, we know so many of the same people. I've known Light for 15 years, probably.
I know, same.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. I learned from him in 2007.
I'm like, there's how many Light meditation teachers? Probably a lot in Venice. But no, he's the original.
Yeah. He's the OG.
Light Watkins. He's been on the podcast. Go back and listen to that episode too.
Yeah.
Of course you know him too. Okay, so, all right. The going to Heal, and you wanted to bring all your teachers in. What did that process look like? Were you in film before? I mean, how do you bridge that gap between teacher to film?
Good question. I was in front of the camera my whole life. I was an actor from a young age. Like my brother was, I always say, like the cutest kid on the planet. So people would always, and we lived like south of LA in Long Beach. And so people would stop my mom everywhere because he's this little towhead blonde, skinny kid, and say, you got to get this kid an agent. He was that cute. And she says that I was cute too. But anyway, she would drag us. She got us an agent or him an agent, and then would drag me along. I was 2 years younger. And so like 5 years old. And I really took to it, and he didn't enjoy it. So then that became my thing. Like I think I did my first commercial at 7. I bought my first house like with commercials. Did a little bit of TV, did a little bit of film. But and then when I went to Berkeley, I was like, very judgmental. I was like, I'm too smart to be an actor, But of course, all the best actors are incredibly intelligent. And came back to it and transferred to UCLA when I was not feeling Berkeley and feeling myself. And up until kind of those agape days, I started realizing that I played 3 sports in high school. Like I'm a competitor. I'm a total athlete. So I found that I got more enjoyment around booking the job, like getting it, like winning the role, and
Mm,
then showing up to set and like sitting in a makeup chair and sitting
yeah.
around and wait. Like there was no magic in the actual experience. It started to wear on
Interesting.
me. So, and then I would start talking about the spiritual stuff and manifestation and energy and spontaneous healing, and
Mm-hmm.
I would light up and expand. And that was my signal, like, oh, go that direction. So I really just encourage people to start to pay attention and tune into their system. Your body is the subconscious mind, and it will tell you what foods are good for you. It will tell you what people are good for you. Like vibes are real, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I kind of just was like, I'm more passionate about this.
Mm-hmm.
And
Got it. And then how long did it take you to make the film
yeah,
Heal?
so I was married at the time. I just recently separated from my husband, and he is like a very, busy businessman and very successful, very smart. And he just wanted me to like be with him and travel and go to the
Mm-hmm.
work stuff. And I really much enjoyed that, but I had to follow my passion. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I hadn't fully stepped into my power at that point. So I was like, okay, I've got to like do this thing in a year. Documentaries usually take like 5, 7, long time. But I had a structure that I had to fit in. I was like, I got to do this thing, but I need to do it in kind of a rush. And I wanted to follow real people on healing journeys. So it's like, okay, so they got to heal in like 6 months, But it did. It worked out from the day I hired my producer, Adam, who shout out to Adam. From the day that it released on iTunes was exactly 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then when it went to Netflix,
Mhm.
what was that experience like?
So again, manifestation, like trust your dreams. So it released, we got a distributor found us. So it's one of those like flow when you follow that energy, when you follow that calling and you just
Mm-hmm.
like surrender and you trust.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to have action, but it was
Mm-hmm.
very much a guided experience. I was like, okay, God, you put this little, thing in my heart. Show me the way. I say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so a distributor came to us who it was like one of the top 10 documentary distributors. He loved that he had his own healing journey because everybody's got a healing journey. So he really
Mm-hmm.
resonated. And we released it on iTunes, and it was like the #1 doc for a few months. And 4 weeks later, we were thrilled. We were like, okay, it's great. And we had done this grassroots marketing to the choir, people
Mm-hmm.
like our audiences that just
Mm-hmm.
are already ready for this and ripe, and they were so excited. And so they all made it #1 because they, they already believed I didn't have to sell anything. And then like early January, Netflix sent out an industry-wide memo in 2018. So this was, 7 years ago, and said we're putting all of our money into producing our own content. So don't submit any more independent films. And I was like, and my distributor kind of called. He's like, I got bad news because he knew I wanted it on Netflix. And I said, but I get it. However, it's going to take them 2 years to build up enough content to
Mm-hmm.
replace. So I'm like, just march on, keep submitting. And I just see it on Netflix. And like 3 weeks later, they were like, dude,
Wow.
they took it,
That's so
And I was
cool.
like, amazing. So, but they didn't take it. They were going to release it the following February, so 2019,
Okay.
which is, a year before COVID. Once it went on Netflix, then we were expanded beyond the choir and it went mainstream, and it
Mm-hmm.
did really well on Netflix. And that was awesome. And then COVID hit. So then it was a whole nother wave of people sitting around needing content. And this was
Right.
like a very helpful, inspiring, empowering content in the
Yeah.
face of the pandemic.
And I remember when it first came out, it's an amazing film. Anybody needs to go watch it if they haven't. But I remember it in the choir days where it was like, and I think because I'd seen it, it's interesting to hear you talk about it when it hit Netflix and like it was beyond the choir and it was like the average every American then on top of that during the pandemic. Okay, when it's more than the choir, meaning more than our community that watches that, then you get different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
How was that experience like? Because it's different when you're talking to people that understand.
Yeah.
It's not the same when you're like, oh wow, a lot of people don't get this.
Yeah.
What was your experience?
I think that is why it did so well, is because
Mm.
I I curated obviously an amazing group of people.
Mhm.
I'm not the expert. I just talked to the experts,
Mhm.
and it just landed with people. So it really resonated, and I didn't. And I always like to like describe it as like I just served up a platter of like all the things that worked for me,
Mhm.
mindset, everything else, and then people watch it and pick what they want to dive deeper into because
Mhm.
it's really kind of like a 101
Yeah.
movie for people. So it is digestible. It's not super, you know.
Do you get pushback of people like that are like it's too woo woo or the press around it? I'd be curious like that
Yeah, I
time.
actually didn't. I mean, maybe I'm in denial. Like I don't read comments and like
No, I
so,
love
like
that for you.
reviews and stuff.
Hey, no,
I love to be an ostrich in the sand because I'm just too
I'm
sensitive.
I'm kind of the same way.
You know?
I know a little bit, but
Yeah.
my friends will come up to me and like, "Man, people really love you or hate you." And I'm like, "Man, thanks for telling me because I live in La La Land. I don't look at that stuff."
Why? Yeah, exactly. It's a brutal place to be on social media right now. So I just am in denial. But so there were some like early comments I think on Amazon that were, you know, when the DVD was out and they're like, Deepak Chopra is a quack. I'm like, okay, guys, well, he's written 90 books. So like he's doing something right. But but for the most part, like I really wanted to make room for everything. So we're not like poo-pooing Western medicine.
Right.
Like we're like Western medicine, conventional medicine, technology is life-saving when you're in an acute situation.
Hmm.
But if you have a chronic condition,
Yeah.
you may want to look at Western medicine isn't designed to get to the root cause. So you may want to check out like lifestyle and emotions and
Hmm.
trauma and
Yeah.
diet and all that stuff.
You talked about manifesting, and even the way back you mentioned The Secret, which I don't want to. I want to kind of go back there because that was a moment. I loved The Secret when it came out.
I did too.
It was so good, but people dogged on it so much, and like through the years, to be honest with you, I don't get why.
I know. I loved it too.
It's so positive. Why are you spinning into something negative?
It's wild. I don't understand either. Maybe because people tried to do what it was teaching and it didn't work for them. Like
Yeah.
it really resonated and worked for me. I like had Rhonda Byrne on the podcast a year ago, and I just like love this woman. And I've recently kind of I've gone through a lot in the last year, but I was feeling stuck in one area, and she was just like, I was like, the fact that I can call Rhonda Byrne and have like a conversation that can get me unstuck is I've just pinched myself, you know?
Mhm.
It really is powerful, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So for people that are, I mean, this was years. I mean, had to have been when The Secret came out. Was it 2007?
It was like 7 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6 and 7. So it was really like early 2000s. How long? Like now, it's a thing in our Instagram, TikTok culture of manifesting, and people make fun of it, or people really love it and talk about it. But we're talking about early 2000s. This is when we were having these conversations around this movement that the time prior to social media really wasn't on social media, was it? Was there a MySpace? Maybe
Yeah,
that's what
oh
it was.
my God, MySpace.
It was like just
No,
MySpace. I don't
no.
know. It wasn't
It
social
was-
media. It was somehow we all got connected, but
Yeah.
it was before social media. Is okay. What do you say to the person that is kind of skeptical about the concept of manifesting? And, maybe we could define it to say what it is and then what it isn't, because there's probably a lot of myths around manifesting.
Yeah. We talk a little bit about it in the film from like because a lot of people watch Heal Over. The biggest compliment is that people watch it like 10 times or every Sunday because they're healing from cancer and they just like need to find
Something
that
positive,
nugget and
yeah.
like change their mindset, you
Yeah.
know, and they need it over and over to like, because we're so ingrained in our subconscious beliefs, which we learned from the film, like 75% of them are negative, limiting, beliefs that, and our beliefs are what manifests, like, and what causes our thoughts to kind of churn over and over in these loops. And so what I love, and Joe Dispenza talks about it, and Bruce Lipton talks about it, is, the mind. Oh, Joan Borisenko in the film talks about it. The mind doesn't know the difference between what's real or imagined, or the body doesn't. So if you are listening right now and you can close your eyes, or even if you can't close your eyes, you picture getting a lemon out of the bowl on the counter or out of the fridge, put it on a cutting board, take a sharp knife up, you slice the lemon in half, and it's starting to like juice everywhere. It may spray on your face. And you pick up half of the lemon and you touch your tongue to it. Like you're just imagining this in your mind.
Mhm.
My mouth is puckering, like
Yeah.
saliva is going.
Yeah, I can taste it.
So I'm imagining something in my mind that's not here, and my body is having a physiological response. So with manifesting Joe Dispenza, who healed his back from this massive spinal injury, and he was told he could never walk again, and he was just lying there, and he just started imagining his spine healing and regenerating, and then his mind would go to a wheelchair, and like that fear would kick in, and then he'd be like, okay, start the process over. And it took him a few weeks, but he finally got to where he just like trained his body and his mind to like visualize this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what he realized is beyond the mind, you need to like bring the heart in, which is feeling the elevated emotions. So his magic potion, which he teaches in his meditation retreats, is combining visualization with the elevated emotion. And that's the key. So a lot of people are just in their manifestation in their heads, and they're not bringing the heart in. So when we can get in a coherent state, which happens through meditation or gardening or walking in nature, then you start to like feel the gratitude of what you want as if it's already there. And then you shift your body, just like we saw with the lemon. Something happens in your body. The frequency that we emit into the field from our vibrations, because we're all energy, shifts, and then life starts to organize in a different manner. And all of a sudden synchronicities happen. And so that's the key. That's the recipe.
I love that. Thank you for explaining that. That was really well done. How has your wellness journey changed over the years? Has it evolved, or is it pretty much these tenets have stayed the same?
It's evolved. I feel like it's much more in the energy and the spiritual realm and less rigidity around choices of like, you know,
Food,
and this is why I feel like I'm like a terrible wellness influencer, because everyone's like, tell us what you eat every day. I'm like, you do not want to see what I eat. I eat like a kindergartner.
I actually want to know about this. What's his wellness kindergartner diet?
I know, it's terrible because I like eat cheese, and I eat, 2 different people have told me that I need to stop eating gluten for a period. So I'll start there, like recently.
Well, hey, look, some people do fine on gluten.
I know.
No shame on gluten.
I thought I did. I thought I did fine on
Some
gluten.
sourdough bread.
I eat sourdough. I would call myself a qualitarian. So I know enough not to eat like highly processed foods.
Yes.
But if I have to, like if I'm desperate and I'm in the airport and like I just need to get something in my body, and potato chips are the only thing. It's not often because I tune into my body. I know how I feel after I eat. But if I like need something, you know, I'm not rigid, I guess is the thing.
Same here.
So big on hydration and big on just like eating like the sourdough. It's fresh baked with 4 ingredients. And it's for me, I believe like the preservatives and the chemicals are what's killing us.
Yeah, I think that's the number one for sure.
Yeah.
And then, and what that has done to the microbiome, which then in turn, our bodies reacting, some people's bodies are reacting to things that otherwise are healthy.
Yeah.
It's not the food's fault. We have to calm the immune system down and create a resilience so we can reintroduce, you know, your average good foods.
And sleep is huge.
Yeah.
Movement is a therapy for me. I'm like, again, like an athlete. So
what's movement look like at this point for you? Movement practices.
Yeah. I mean, I ran the marathon in November in New York, and I was doing that for a good cause. Morgan Hoffman Foundation, my buddy who is a pro golfer that is healing naturally from muscular dystrophy, which is a doozy, and he's amazing. So I ran on his team, and I haven't run since. So this is months later. But I've been a runner my whole life, so I love running. But you know, I take breaks and then go big. Peloton is easy for me.
Love Peloton.
I love it.
Who's your favorite Peloton instructor?
Allie Love.
Oh, Allie Love's great.
Who do you like?
I love Allie Love. She listens to the podcast.
Oh, cool. Hey.
Shout out to Allie. I love Rebecca Kennedy. I've had her on the podcast.
Amazing.
I love her. I'm like, I've been with these people for so long.
I know.
I feel like I know them.
I used to do like Hannah and Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Both Hannahs.
I love Andy Spears.
Mm-hmm.
I love my son. My whole family's in on it. I mean, I can't. There's so many instructors that I love. But right now I'm doing Rebecca Kennedy's 4-day split training. It's like 30 minutes of weights and then 15 minutes. I have the tread.
Oh, good. Yeah.
You have the tread?
I did have the tread. It's now an Ash. I did.
Oh no. Okay, we have to cover this. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was at my stepdaughter's house staying here in Dallas, and she's got all these beautiful crystals. And then I was like, God, that
Um,
crystal is gone.
oh
You
my
just start to think of
Lord.
these
This is
things.
a big. I'm sorry. So yeah, we have to pivot and cover this. You went through some major big life changes because of fire.
Hmm.
So what did you go through?
Yeah, I mean, it's a spiritual experience. We were renting a house. My daughter is almost 6. We rented a house in the Pacific Palisades for the last year, and we were looking at actually buying the house. Thank God we didn't. Um, but yeah, I was out of town. I was starting the year because I'd just gone through this separation, and I'd finally come out of I had been giving myself the time to grieve for
Mm-hmm.
6 months. And finally coming out of that, so I was like, I'm going to start the new year. And I went to Dave Asprey's 40 Years of Zen.
Oh, cool.
So, which I had no idea is like, it's really just deep forgiveness work.
Yeah.
And then you go into these pods, and then
Mm-hmm.
you can choose to do ketamine with it or not to make yourself more neuroplastic, I guess. So we were on day 2 of and I like day 1, you dive right into this deep forgiveness work and do all this. And I go, and we don't have our phones on us. So I checked my phone at lunch because I have a small child, and it's just blowing up because there's this fire happening, and my nanny and my daughter evacuate. They meet her dad at the hotel. He also evacuated because he was in Malibu. And I'm kind of like, nobody at that point thought the whole town was going to burn down.
Right.
So I said, okay, well, I'm going to go into the afternoon session. I'm not an alarmist at all. I'm going to take a breath. We'll assess. And then that night, everybody was worried about those 70 to 100 mile an hour winds, which is weird. I don't even
Mm-hmm.
know what's going on with nature these days
Mm-hmm.
because we're manipulating it. But then I woke up at like 3 a.m. I was like, you know what? Regardless of what happens, I need to be home with my daughter because her nervous system is very much still
Yeah.
in sync with mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew just like being at a hotel and having the
Mhm.
whole town stress out would
Mhm.
affect her. And so I got on delta.com and booked a flight and was at the airport in an Uber in like 45 minutes and took the first flight out. And then on the way, we'd all been talking with our neighbors. And right before, like 30 minutes before landing, my neighbor sent a video with our whole street burning, like just like house, our houses. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah. And then it's just impossible to process. I have all the tools in the book. Thank God, because everybody's like, you're handling this like a champ. And honestly, because of the separation, I looked at it as like, it was just kind of liberating. It's just, I've
Mhm.
changed so much. I've grown so much because of all the work I do. I had just mourned the ending or not the ending. We're dear friends. We love each other deeply. He's the father of my child. And so
But just a different season.
yeah, it's a different season. And so
Mhm.
it's just really felt like
Yeah.
a liberation it's a new energy, a new chapter,
New chapter of your life in many
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
Wow. I know. I can only imagine like what's going on, and I haven't been to LA since all of this has happened. What's it like at
It's
this point?
crazy. It's crazy.
I had someone recording remotely, and I was at the telehealth center. They were driving in. They were like, it took them like 3 hours
Yeah.
to get to
Traffic is a nightmare.
West Hollywood
Hmm.
because of traffic.
Yeah, because just everything is rerouted. I mean, PCH you didn't realize what a big artery it was for people
Right.
in the valley. So that artery is closed down and everything's diverted, and it's a nightmare. I mean, I've finally lost my cool in the car, totally unraveled this week because I've been traveling a little bit just to kind of find joy and we
Mhm.
haven't had a house. We've been in and out of hotels. We when my ex is not in town, we can go to the Malibu house or at my parents' house in Long Beach. So we've just been popping around. We don't have a lot of stuff. We're slowly rebuilding our closet with the basics, but it's still just so unsettling to be 4 months with out of
Yeah.
house and a 6-year-old,
Yeah.
5-year-old. So we're moving this weekend into a rental that's not quite ready, but I just need to
Yeah.
put
So
down
I have a home base.
roots. Yeah.
Yeah. Long Beach. You mentioned being from Long Beach. What part of Long Beach are you from?
So I grew up on Ocean Boulevard, the Bluff,
Yeah.
just right outside of Belmont Shore.
Yeah. Belmont Shore, man, that is the place. Second Street?
Yes, Second Street.
My wife's family's from like Cerritos,
Yes.
Norwalk area.
Cool.
I worked in college. I went to college in La Habra, in the La Mirada area, and I worked at the Starbucks at Cerritos Town Center.
Oh my God.
And Second Street is where we went. Have you ever been to Open Sesame on Second?
All the time.
Oh my gosh,
So good. It's like the best Middle Eastern
It's
food.
this like healthy Lebanese food.
Mediterranean, yeah.
Yeah, it's chicken shawarma.
Yep.
They have a pita. They have these spicy hummus that's so good.
That's so good.
What else do I get? I get their cauliflower, like the fried cauliflower.
Oh, we totally get that every time.
I love
Every
that.
time.
Second Street, man.
So good.
It's been years since I've been there. I want to go back.
Yeah. Now my parents live in Naples now, which is like on all my, like 90% of my high school
it's so
friends
good.
are still
We
there.
used to walk up and down those canals at Christmas time because
Yeah.
it's so pretty and
Gorgeous. Exactly.
yeah, small. Our lives.
I know.
So overlapped.
We're meant to be.
Right.
And it's like allergy season here. I don't know what my.
Oh, sorry.
I'm like wiping my
Texas,
nose
get it together.
spring blooming. Yeah.
So what's next for you? What's coming up?
So we are. I invested in this company right after Heal came out because I envisioned this platform where people could connect to their healers, like because really Yelp and Google and word of mouth, which is easy in LA and New York, and like Asheville and some of the, like Sedona, but harder for the masses. So, anyways, this company has had a life of its own, and recently a board member and I, this guy Andrew Comer, who's a dear friend, we took over the company, and now we're building our version of it that we want to build, and it's a platform that's going to be like AI guided personal healing journeys. So we're in it deep, and we're so excited, and we're going to start with it's like the first edition, I guess. It's maybe a beta, but it'll be out in June, and it's we get all these inputs, and we're going to help people, just like give them tools that will shift their state and help them to regulate their nervous system in real time.
Amazing.
And then we'll expand beyond to like these guided pathways. So people come to me all the time looking for resources, lots around cancer, but any chronic condition. And I have to piecemeal resources, like talk to this person, check out this, whatever it is, books. And and I want to get back to intuition too, because I didn't fully answer that question. So we're really going to have like a guided pathway. So if you have cancer, I want to be the place where you go and get all the emotional, mental, and spiritual support. You'll go to your oncologist and get, the best diagnoses and treatment plans and whatever. And then we give you all the other support to, like, you may need to uncover some emotional trauma and heal. You may need to change your diet and your lifestyle. I say may very strongly, like you have to.
Yeah.
And so we're building that. And then, for chronic pain, addiction, the kids need a lot of support these days, as you very well know, with 2 teenagers. And just like, there's so much just stress in the system. And so we're building that platform, and that's really exciting. Concurrently, I'm also developing a docuseries that teaches people about their nervous system, how to process, digest, and express emotions in a healthy, real-time way. Nervous system regulation is the foundation of all healing. I think, obviously there's many other important pieces, but like if we can't regulate our systems, it's everything breaks down.
So important.
So, we're doing that. And I think I just went through the most emotionally intense period of my life at 45 years old, 44 to 46, where I am now. And I have every tool in the book. I have friends like you that give awesome support, and I still found myself flailing and struggling. So I'm like, I'm making this docuseries for me, because if I need it, I know everybody needs it. So I'm really excited.
That's so
about
cool.
that.
What's the name of the AI program? Do you have a name for it?
The platform?
Yeah, platform.
Is gonna be called Held, because
I love that.
I want really, heal. Like, in order to heal, like, we need to hold each other.
Yeah.
We need to reparent ourselves and hold those little parts inside of us so that our nervous system can calm. So we really just want to create this place where people can come and feel held on their journey and feel safe.
Where do people go when it's out? Where will they go?
It'll be an app.
Oh, App Store. So
Yeah, it'll be
App Store on
exactly.
iPhone. And
Yeah.
Perfect. Amazing. And what's the timeline on this docuseries? Do you have any idea?
Well, you know me, I'm like a manifester. So I want to, because what happened with Heal is people watched and they're like, what, now what? Like, I need to find my teachers, and my healers and my team. And this will tie in beautifully with this intuition piece. Held is meant to like reconnect people back to themselves and we're literally giving them the tools from the question you asked earlier. Like, how do people tune into their intuition? Because we're so lost and there's so much distraction and we've become so disconnected from our truth and ourselves. So Held is going to do that. And then also this docuseries is going to do that and really teach people how to feel, because we are living in a world that wants us to do everything not to feel. And Zach Bush said this anxiety is because we don't know how to feel. We're disconnected from feeling. And so timeline would be, because people are going to watch the docuseries and then we'll have a place to hold them and land, to practice on a daily basis, to reconnect to themselves, to do the work, the deep work that you need to heal and really reconnect to yourself and get back on that path of truth for yourself, because that's when healing occurs.
Perfect. So watch this space on the timeline, I guess, of all of this stuff.
Yeah.
We don't know quite yet, but in
so
development.
hopefully in the summer the platform will be out so people can start using it. We can learn, we can improve it and get it really singing. And then docuseries, ideally find my partner, hopefully Netflix if you're listening. No, but we have a great relationship with Amazon too and Prime. So because that's where Heal's living now. But ideally, I think I could film it pretty fast, and then so like maybe 18 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You mover and shaker.
I got to move fast.
Mover and shaker.
People need this information.
Anything else you want to say about intuition that you?
Yeah. So one of the things that I always, point people to in the film, I talked to Dr. Kelly Turner, who she did her PhD on spontaneous healing of cancer and radical remission. And so she found these 10 things. When I did Heal, it was 9. And then she looked back at her research and found that movement, some form of movement and exercise. So now it's 10 things. Of those 10 things, that everyone that was given a terminal cancer diagnosis, they were sent home to get their affairs in order. Western medicine had no more solutions for them. They did all they could. And she found these 1,500 people that were sent home to die that didn't die. She's like, why aren't we studying what they did?
Right.
So she found that they all did these 10 things. And so of the 10, 3 of them, I think, are physical, and the rest were mental, emotional, and spiritual.
Wow. And
cancer is a very complicated condition. It has many different causes. It's a cacophony of things that are occurring to allow cancer to flourish in your body. But I believe these 10 things, this is my hypothesis, not hers, applies to every chronic illness. And only 3 of them are physical. The rest are mental.
What were the 3
spiritual.
physical ones?
Radically change your diet.
Okay.
Use herbs and supplements, and movement.
Got it.
And so
that's the 3. And what were some of the 7
some of the other ones,
Yeah.
if I can remember, it's like increasing positive emotions, releasing trauma and suppressed emotions that we didn't have the capacity to deal with at the time. So we suppress them in our system. Tuning into your intuition, which I think is number 1. What is it? Increasing social connection, because they show that, if you're in a support group, it 50% improves outcomes. What else was there? I don't know. We'll have to.
They can watch the film.
Watch the film. Get the book. Heal the book.
Yeah, right.
It's in there. And so intuition is key, because I also interviewed this guy, Jeffrey Thompson, who is just a brilliant mind. I asked him one question. He talked for 2 hours, and we ended on some crazy quantum physics theory of Schrodinger's cat. And I was just like, okay, drop the mic. My mind is blown. That's it. But he said, there comes a point in your life, usually pretty early on, where you come to a fork in the road and you have to decide whether you want to do what your heart is telling you to do or what society and parents. And most people aren't even aware that their heart wants to do something, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
because we're so disconnected from
Mm-hmm.
our truth and our passion and our purpose to be here. And so they take the right turn, or I guess the left turn, the wrong turn, to do what they think they should do. And he said that is the moment that dis-ease begins.
Mm.
And so for me, it's reconnecting to our truth. We're all these unique, beautiful, divine expressions that came here for a purpose.
Yeah.
And I just think that's everything, the fire, everything that I've experienced. I've had incredible, just mystical experiences that anchor this in my system of knowing
Mm-hmm.
that we all came here for a specific purpose,
Mhm.
and we all have unique expression, and none of us are supposed to, like, there's no one size fits all model for healing. There's no one size fits all model for life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just divinely orchestrated. So, and that guidance system is within us. And so to tune in and trust, that's the healing work is. And
Mhm.
then, like, I'm in this flow state right now, not without obstacles. Again, lost my mind in the car screaming on Monday and Tuesday because I was stuck in hours of traffic and so over being unsettled. So we have these human moments, but I really am in this trust and surrender of this divine orchestration. And that's when we can, like, flow with the energy of life and not try to, like, paddle upstream and get
Mhm.
exhausted and burnt out.
Yeah.
And so that's, like, really having these practices, reconnecting with nature, meditation, prayer, whatever it is, finding like-minded people and having conversations like this,
Mm-hmm.
that starts to tune you into your body. Eating good food, like, that clears, just, it's all about clearing the distortion that's
Yeah.
keeping us from feeling our guidance.
Yeah.
And we need, like, with AI is such an amazing, amazing tool, but it needs to be it needs to be fed the right things.
Yeah.
It needs to be taught by the right people
Mm-hmm.
and
used for the right things.
used for the right things.
For
So
the
I think
good.
it's really important now more than ever, because we're being seen things that can be totally manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
And even voice, like, we could
Yeah.
see like, I don't even know how courts are going to operate anymore, because you can have a clip with the guy's voice and the person
Yeah.
committing
it's
a
not
crime
him.
that's not
Yeah.
real,
Right.
or the opposite, exonerating them. So it's so important to tune into our intuition and discernment so that we can be so hyper connected to our
Yeah.
system, because our system doesn't lie. Like, it'll tell us what's truth and what's not.
Yeah.
And so that's why intuition is everything.
So good. My friend, this has been a blessing. The podcast is called The Art of Being Well. At the end, we have your art of being well. First question is, what's the worst tasting healthy food that you eat? What I didn't ask you about this kindergartner diet.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wanna know. Well, I'll get to that
Pizza.
at the end. But what's the worst tasting healthy food that you eat? It's, like, not for the taste, right? It's for the health benefits.
Oh gosh, I would say.
But maybe if you're a kindergartner, you don't
yeah,
have that food.
I just don't do it. Oh God. I mean, this is such a great question. I would say, like, trying to think of, like, these tinctures that like, these herbal tinctures. Some of them taste really awful.
Oh yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah,
They're, like, herbal tinctures can be
gnarly.
tincture
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
All right. What's the weirdest or maybe most out of the box, even controversial thing you've done for your wellness that you're willing to admit on a podcast?
Oh, this is these questions are so good. I mean, I'm just a very courageous person. It has to be in the right setting, but, like, I do, like, plant medicine journeys. I think some of that shit's crazy,
I've never done it, but
Really?
I've heard lots of stories.
I'm, like, an experimenter, but
Yeah.
I would just say, like, really make sure the medicine is calling you. It's medicine. I mean, it's very ancient wisdom, like, intelligence. So you need to make sure your source has been treated with, like,
Mhm.
sacred reverence, because it's wild what
Yeah,
these
it's
things.
being appropriated in all
Yeah.
sort of ways, right?
Yeah.
That are, like,
Wrong
it's very
facilitators.
powerful.
It's very powerful, and it can leave you. I mean, it lifts veils and allows you to see and understand deeply these things. And if you're in the wrong set and setting with the wrong medicine that has not been totally
Mhm.
revered and handled in the right way, and you're not being held in a container that's really safe,
Mhm.
it can affect you for a
Yeah.
long time.
I've talked, not to derail us, but I talked to, because we do a lot of talking to telehealth patients about microdosing and the science around it and those type of topics. And I've talked to the farmers at these like psilocybin farms in Hawaii, and they don't like to the point where the people on the farm aren't allowed to drink alcohol. They're not allowed to smoke. I mean, it's very specific.
Yeah. Frequency.
Because it impacts the mushrooms.
Yeah, totally. And that's it. I mean, it has to be handled in that.
Yes. So
Yeah.
you have to know what you're getting.
You have to know what you're getting. You have to know
The set and setting, like you said, is so
experience
important.
of the facilitator and their frequency. You know, I once like ran into this facilitator at the airport, and he was like not living what he was he was just like all.
Was he at Dunkin' Donuts?
He was now.
That's what he was doing, right?
Yeah,
he was Dunkin'.
Totally. But he was very like, his energy was very wound up, and we have human moments, so I was not judging.
Right. Yeah.
But I was like,
bad
oh,
day.
interesting. So you really just want someone that's embodying the medicine and the work. Yeah.
For sure. Okay. So we covered that. So plant medicine was
Plant medicine, I think. Like
anything you wouldn't like that you had plant medicine wise that wasn't a good experience for you?
No, I've always, again, like I really trust, well, that is not true. When I first did ayahuasca, it was years ago, and my facialist had like mentored or apprenticed with this guy, and she had done the medicine like 200 times, which that's a lot. I've done it twice, maybe 3 times. Anyways, I went to the wrong set and setting. I was like in Aries. I was like, okay, I'm finally ready to do it. She's been talking about this. I was about to do, it was before Heal. I was about to do Heal, so maybe it's going to help me give an experience. And I went and did it at this like bottom floor apartment in Century City at this like, I was like, oh, it's at a doctor's house. I didn't know any of the people there. There was no preparation from the facilitator or the apprentice, because this guy was like a legit shaman who I don't even know if spoke English. But I just dove in with no preparation. And it was like it was a battle. I mean, it was me and the medicine battling. It wanted me to throw the bucket of purge on myself because I had like it all together.
So because you throw up most of the not all the time.
Not all the
some people
time.
do.
I didn't the second time, second journey.
If we're selling it for you all.
Yeah. So you're throwing up, and the medicine is telling me to throw this on my head, which because the story at the time was I'm so like I have to be like I do have perfectionism, and I do have these traumas from childhood that made me feel like I needed to be perfect to be loved. I know none of your listeners can relate to that.
Oh yeah, nobody. You're alone in this, Kelly.
People pleasing, perfectionism. So the medicine was like, you need to just be messy, and the way you're going to be messy is throw the puke on your head. And I was like, I get the point intellectually. I don't need to throw the thing.
Medicine, I get it.
I get it. I don't need to be messy. So it was a whole thing. I ended up winning the battle, but I was exhausted, and it was like I didn't throw the puke on my head.
Okay.
I was like, I get it. Don't need to do it. I leave. I go home that morning. My husband is having coffee. He's like, so should I do it? And I go, absolutely not. That is not my medicine. That was so gnarly and intense and dark. And cut to, I went to do it at Rhythmia because Michael Beckwith is involved, and I very much trusted it. And they give you a roadmap, and I was fully prepared in a different setting. I was outdoors in Costa Rica, and what I needed to the medicine in that journey. I actually was pregnant at the time, not knowing I had conceived like a few days prior, and it was a full labor simulation, so it was all tied in, and it showed me. It tied back to the first journey and explained exactly why I had to go through that.
Oh, wow.
So it all made sense. All of that to say, I trust now where I'm led. And then I tune in, and I don't have those experiences anymore.
Got it. Thank you for that. So when we say set and setting, we're talking about a lot of like what maps, and a lot of the researchers and psychedelics talk about mindset and setting, right?
Yes.
That's what we're talking about there. Okay, and then I have to ask you, since we're talking about ayahuasca, what I've heard from people in the space is that they meet this lady. Mm-hmm. Does everyone meet the lady?
Mother Ayahuasca, Ma, we call her.
Okay.
My lady. I didn't meet any lady. The guy that started Rhythmia met Mrs. Moon.
Okay.
Who sent him to the moon, and
she's not the same one as my Mother Ayahuasca.
I guess for him it was Mrs. Moon, but
okay.
it was
maybe
Mother
shows
Ayahuasca.
up as different people.
I think she shows up at different people. It's a very serpentine.
That's what I heard.
Energy, but I've never like met a woman.
Okay,
Yet.
I just wondered if she shows up for everybody or.
Yeah. I mean, she was like she gives you lots of information, but I didn't see a figure of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. What is somewhere that you haven't been to that's on your list?
Bali.
Easy
Yeah.
answer.
Easy answer. It just
Easy.
keeps coming up for me.
Okay.
It seems like a very long trek away, but I feel like the beauty and the magic.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Yeah, for sure. What's your favorite restaurant at the moment? And when you're there, what do you order?
Great question. Oh my goodness. Favorite restaurant. I love this little Italian restaurant it's actually in the Palisades, so it's been closed. Didn't burn, called Giorgio Baldi. And it's like a legit Italian. Giorgio came over from Forte dei Marmi, and now his daughter Elena runs it. And they just make us we get salads, and then we eat our protein, our fish, and then we eat our pasta last as kind of like a dessert. And I'm like a penne red sauce girl. I'm just like an old school, but it's fresh. I mean, it's like legit, and it's so delicious.
So good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what is like a good day in the life of your kindergartner wellness diet?
Oh, yeah.
What breakfast, lunch,
I do a
and
lot
dinner?
of cheese and crackers. I do a lot of cottage cheese, but again, I do the good cottage cheese, so there's less crap in it, It's literally called good, because I think there's only a few ingredients. And I eat burgers, I eat pizza, but
That sounds like mine.
Yeah.
I love a good.
But again, it's like grass-fed
Better
beef,
versions.
no
Yes.
hormones.
Oh, I'm the same way. I'm a kindergartner. I thought
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe first grade, but
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
and there's no shame in that.
Pizza, we have this pizza place near my parents' house called Marlena, and they make this oven. It's just all fresh ingredients,
Yeah.
and I feel like my body does well with that.
That's what people don't really realize, and we live in such an awesome time where there are better for you versions with pretty much
Yeah,
everything.
Totally,
If you know where to look.
exactly.
Against the Grain. Have you had that pizza before? They switched to there's no seed oils in it anymore.
Oh, great.
Jason Karp. Do you know Jason?
I don't.
You should meet him.
Okay.
But he's involved with Against the Grain now.
Oh yeah.
And there's Capello's, which everybody knows that
Yeah.
too. That's another good pizza.
Yeah, my daughter loves Capello's.
You can have pizza, guys.
Yes, I know. And this is the thing. Everybody's like, "What do you eat?" Because I'm just blessed with really good genes. But I always before this spiritual journey, and even through I've always had an extra 5 pounds. It's that thing. And even as an actor, it was devastating. So I was really in my head about food before. Once I started doing these spiritual practices and found true joy, the weight just comes off.
Yeah, because your body's not in that fight or flight as much.
It's not in that fight or flight, and you're not beating yourself up every moment, and you're not rigid. Rigidity, people get stuck in a rigid diet, and it's almost the same kind of frequency and energy of eating crap,
Mhm.
So I just happy is my diet. I just do things that bring me joy, and we can't let go of that. Even in this intense 2 years that I've gone through, that's been my anchor. You have to do things that light you up, and that shifts things.
Love it. Kelly, this has been a blessing. Thanks for coming on. Where do people go to learn more about your work?
Yeah, healwithkelly.co. That's my podcast, film, book, everything's there. And then, obviously the podcast is anywhere podcasts are found. And then I'm at Kelly Gores on Instagram, and then the Heal page is at Heal with Kelly. So
Great.
Tune in and sign up for the newsletter so you can find out about Held
Yes.
and the docuseries.
Kelly, come back anytime.
You're the best.